Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Perfect Storm. And this movie came out in the year 2000, and it stars George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, John C. Reilly, and it's a movie that I was curious to check out, and it's just a movie that I was aware of, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll check it out at some point. And finally watched it, and I got nothing out of it, unfortunately. It was a film that just didn't really go anywhere, and it kind of felt pointless. And I'm not of the opinion that just because it's based off of a true story automatically makes it good or bad. I'm of the opinion it depends on how you do it, and I do believe that you could have made a really good movie out of this story because clearly you could do something interesting and have something memorable about it. And the most memorable stuff in this movie is just in the second half, and this movie did have actors that I liked. I didn't feel as though they were bad. I just feel as though there wasn't any particular moment where I could say they were exceptional or like really giving it their all. I just felt as though, yeah, you're just doing what you want to because you genuinely care about the project that you're involved in, and you're trying. But unfortunately, it just didn't really feel as though they were in service of anything for the most part. And also, I did like the music in the film by James Horner. I did kind of find it to be a little sappy and cheesy at times, but it wasn't terrible, despite it kind of going for the emotions that you would expect given what this is and the tone that it's going for. But I didn't feel as though it was terrible. I didn't like it at first, but as the movie went along, it kind of grew on me, and I was like, yeah, I'll give the music a pass. There were some shots in the first half that kind of stood out as somewhat memorable to me, and it was something at least. I didn't hate it. But to get into my issues with this movie, the visual effects just looked dated and not really something that I felt as though was a part of the environment. And I wasn't really connected to much of anything in this film, including the tone of the film, which I wasn't really in love with, and the characters I didn't care for either. They were just written as like, oh, the most generic characters you could possibly write for a character like this. Mark Wahlberg, he's a guy who is trying to provide for people and that he cares for, and he's just yeah, that's his character. And John C. Reilly, he has a family and a son that he wants to provide for, and you're supposed to care about him because he has a son. That's his character. And then you have the crew bicker a little bit, and that's supposed to be implied conflict between characters. And then all of a sudden, a big thing happens, and then they got along with one another. Great. And the movie was kind of boring to me. At least half of it was just filled with scenes of nothing happening, and you have weird montages that were just thrown in there for no reason. And I honestly feel as though this movie could have been 90 minutes and it would have been better for the pacing because it doesn't really do much with that 2 hour runtime. And what I found to be particularly strange about this movie is its structure. Like, the first half of this movie feels like a first act, and the second half of this movie felt like a huge third act, and it had no second act at all. It's like, okay, what? It's like, it kind of felt like, yeah, this is a true story. We have characters that we're writing to be either sympathetic or someone you can get behind and care about, and the true event that happened. What else do you want from us? There's a lot about this movie that felt unnecessary and also kind of like filler. And it does have a lot of characters, and I don't understand why we had to see the movies shift from different perspectives. They don't add to the film. They're not interesting characters. They don't have any impact on the story. Like, why are they there? I couldn't tell you. One example I'll bring up would be just this boat that has like three people on it. A guy who just doesn't look at a map and just goes wherever he goes, I guess, or something. That's just how they establish his character. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I don't do things by the book or whatever. one of those characters, and that whole stuff is pointless. It doesn't go anywhere. It just feels like a huge waste of time. And that's about all I have to say about The Perfect Storm. It was kind of dull, not the most boring thing ever, but it just didn't really offer anything for me, and I kind of forgot about most of it already, despite me watching this movie a few hours ago. So skip this movie if you ever come across it, would be my recommendation. I personally just got nothing out of it. But who knows? It depends on what type of movie you like and what you're looking for in a film as well. So with all that being said, I'm going to give The Perfect Storm a 4 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thought of The Perfect Storm, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Iron Man 2, a movie that I haven't seen in 15 years. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.